Welcome back, Chippers, to another edition of Chippers TV. This episode, I'm excited to have a guest host that is going to show another skill set that I do not have. Mr. Stratz, who is a designer and artist in his own right, has agreed to come and explain the art of design and building of a stained glass suncatcher. So, take it away, Mr. Stratz.
Hello, Pathway. So it's a Friday night. We're headed into a weekend. Mr. Burtis asked me to go through the steps of making stained glass, so I thought what better way than to start with a brand new project. So the client is smitten with this. It's called the North Star. That is my inspiration. It's not something I want to copy exactly, but that's my inspiration. So to create this, I've decided to use some geometry skills that I relearned last year when I taught a group of students at Pathway Geometry. So to do this, I need only a few things. I need a straight edge, so I'm going to use that drafting triangle. I need a high quality compass, and that is truly a high quality compass. Some average everyday pencils, and a super stapler Mars plastic eraser. If you're going to get into art and you're going to do pencil work, get yourself an amazing eraser. So it's Saturday around lunchtime, and so this is what I came up with last night. This was the second version of this that I came up with last night, and shared some photos with the client. That's the stage where you share some options and talk about price. And then this morning I woke up and I pulled this out, and I thought I'd really like to make this design a little bit more unique to myself. So I played around. I drew the outline of the star and then filled it in with circles. And I shared this one with the client, and they approved of this one. So we're ready to start thinking about glass. Hey everybody. So actually it's not time to start talking about glass. It's time to start talking about scissors. And the first one is this one. Actually it's kind to the hand scissors. And I use this one to cut out the design, which I have photocopied twice. So I go around the outside with this scissors. Then I need this scissors. And what I do with this scissors is now I'm going to cut it up into individual pieces. And hopefully you'll see what happens as I'm cutting along. So the scissors is set up that it has that groove there, and as I cut, it peels away the pencil line. That pencil line needs to be gone because when I get to the point of foiling the glass, which you will see, So again, more little scraps of paper. So now I need to cut it up into all the individual pieces. Then I get to choose glass. And I've already consulted with the client. It's going to be mostly blues and greens. Going to stay away from yellow-green. It's important to bring up yellow-green when you're talking about greens, because some people really don't like yellow-greens. I only like it in certain places. So we're going to do blues and greens with a couple pieces of orange and violet thrown in for accent color. So what you're looking at are scraps of orange and orange-yellow glass. And it ranges from fancy art glass to darker orange to earthier color orange. But what I've decided over here is that piece 5, 16, and 13 are going to be orange. And again, we want vibrant, pure orange. We don't want to go to the yellow orange. We don't want to get to murky orange. So I've got 3 different types of orange glass. Next step is to glue those pieces down. Okay, so that are the orange and violet pieces, pattern pieces glued down on glass. The violet looks black, but it's not black. So I pulled out my tub of blue and my bigger tub of blue. I also went over into my corner and looked at some of the blue glass over there in the bigger sheets. But I found some blues that will work. And they look a little bit darker than they are. Some don't look as dark. So the next step is to show you how I break the glass. So I need to get set up to show you that. And turn up the jazz, of course. Okay. So gloves on for a little bit of safety. And yes, I cut myself often. Glass is sharp. So, but with care, it happens a lot less frequently than it used to. This is a glass score. So if I tried to break this, it ain't happening. I take this, and all it does, it's called cutting glass, but basically what I'm doing is I'm scratching it. Now. So the object is to get close to it. Now, this tool is definitely something that saves me from cutting myself. I could probably snap this piece off here with my hands, but when it's that small, sometimes when your finger snaps up from the other side, you cut the edge of the glass, and it's not good. So these pliers, you can see they are not the same as most pliers. The side right here is curved. You put the curved side down below, and there you go. That piece is a little bit too small for me to do anything with, so it goes in my scrap pile. So I got 2 pieces to cut. I'm going to start by scoring across, score, so I'm going to show you one more thing here. So you can see I got, when you look at this piece, I got really close to the edge, so that I'll have very little to grind. But when I got this piece, you can see inside that curve, the closer I get to inside that curve, the more likely the glass will not break where I want it to break. I'm just going to trim off some of the easier edges to treat. But I'm going to leave that inside of the curve to grind later. The deeper the curve, the more grinding it's going to take. So when I design things, I try not to have deep curves. So I've got 3 more pattern pieces of blue. Again, smaller piece I need to snap off. Use the pliers. So now I will have the blue, the orange, and the violet cut. And I will just have to search out the green and the aqua. So once I have it all cut out, I'll show you the next phase, which is grinding. Okay, so now we move to the glass grinder. Probably the most expensive piece of equipment in my room and the piece of equipment that wears out the most. So I have to replace the most expensive one more often than everything else. But it's very important because you can see right here I've got all my pieces of the pattern that were cut apart, glued onto a variety of glass that I chose for this project. And what I need is this machine to turn the piece of glass into the exact size as the pattern piece. How that does it is that bit, that round bit there, when I turn it on, spins. And I take a piece of glass and I press it up against it, and it grinds away the extra glass. So here are 4 pieces, and you can see these 2, the glass goes beyond the pattern piece. These 2 have been ground, so the glass is the same size as the pattern piece. Once I get them all ground, then I have to peel off the pattern piece, clean them, dry them off, put them back on the overall pattern for the next step. So Mr. Burtis asked if I would show the glass grinder in action. So you can see I've ground the top part, and now I need to grind the bottom part. I'm trying to do it so you can see it. Okay, so the glass grinder did its job. I've got all the pieces fitting into the design template. Again, I saved the original one over there so that if I ever want to make this again, because this one will be ruined in the process. So next thing is I need to take some copper foil and wrap it around each of those pieces. So with that said, let's go into a time lapse. So the next stage is upon us. All the pieces have been foiled, they've been pinned into location and ready to solder. Thus I need solder and flux, something to put the flux in, something to cut this, which is copper wire, and my soldering iron, which is warming up. I guess there's 2 other important things. There's this blue thing, which will pull the fumes away from me, and a box fan, which I will put into the window. There's a raven that I really like. I didn't create that, but it's a favorite piece of art in here. So, time to open the window, put a fan in, blow the fumes out of here so I'm not breathing lead fumes. So this was my next project to solder, and Mr. Burtis had asked to show the soldering process, so let's go into hyperlapse. Okay, so there is the finished product. Not showing all its true colors, of course. That's the nature of glass. The sun is not shining brightly through this window right now. You can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Show you some of my other work. That's a three-dimensional sun catcher. That's a Macintosh rose placed inside a quilt design called a log cabin. It's my Pink Panther. This one I actually made for myself. Willow tree. And a white butterfly.